In this practice, we'll work on strength of the muscles that support the hips for greater hip mobility. We'll be standing, we'll use a chair, and we'll also do some supine or lying down poses. We'll start standing. Hold on to your chair. Have your feet at least hip distance apart and just come down and up as if you're coming to a squat position. You're drawing down and up, and you may not need to hold on to the chair back. If you're at a kitchen counter, that's fine too. See if you can maybe widen your stance and go a little bit deeper. And don't go too deep. We're just allowing the hips to just get a little bit more mobile for the actions that we're about to do. And now come to stand and hold on to something so that you can balance yourself more fully. On your left leg, lift your right leg to the side. And as you do, you start to feel the fatigue in the standing leg. You can release your right foot down. Now hold on again and allow a little bit more weight to be focused to the right foot. Take your left foot away from the floor and just nice pulsing movements here. You lift the foot up. The toes are spread. The toes are drawn toward your knee or toward your shin. You stay active with controlled movements, not too jerky, not too fast. Just keep a nice action in the movement of the leg. Just a few more. If you tire, feel free to stop, but see over time if you can increase your repetitions. Now we'll work on our feet a little bit. We want to stay stable. So as you stand with your feet hip distance apart, if you go from the pelvic point and trace a line down your legs all the way to your second toe. Second toe should be parallel. And with the second toes parallel, with your feet hip distance apart as defined by that measurement from the hip points, hold on to the chair for stability. Lift your heels high. Now draw down. Now take your weight to your heels only and lift your toes. Now come back to your toes, lift up, have the toes spread. Now go to your heels. Do this for several repetitions just to get a full engagement all the way from the toes to the pelvis. Lift up high and see if you can do a few more repetitions. Obviously, you could do these throughout the day to just create a little bit more stability in standing and stability in your foundation and balance. A few more. Lift high and draw to the heels and lift high and to the heels. And now with your feet parallel, if you've got a blanket or a rolled towel or a block, we'll be using that. If you don't have those accessible, we can improvise. I'm using a rolled towel. I'm going to place this right between my legs, pretty far up, so as I squeeze the towel, reach your arms up and draw back. We're combining the squat action we did with a strong action of hugging to the midline, as we call it in yoga. Now rise up and release your hands. Keep this action of squeezing the towel, and if it doesn't feel like it's enough for you, you can get a little bit more fullness, maybe 2 towels. Squeeze in, reach your arms up, draw the tops of the thighs back, keep on squeezing in as you draw down, and rise up, release your hands. We'll do that 3 more times. Take your arms up, take your hands nice and wide apart, bend your knees, draw the tops of the thighs back, look down at your knees. Can you get the knees to come back slightly? Knees want to come forward, but try to take them back slightly. Root down to rise up, release your hands. 2 more, inhale, reach up, squeeze in, draw the tops of the thighs back, and rise up, release your hands. 1 more. Notice how I'm spreading my fingers as a way to keep the arms very active, and as I draw the tops of the thighs down, move the pelvis back, keep on squeezing, and inhale, rise up, release your hands. Now we'll come to sit on the chair. Sitting on the chair, take your right foot to the top of the left knee. So lift it up, and if you can do that on its own power, that's fabulous. Take the ankle just to the outer knee area, so the ankle is free to move around. Now, if this feels like just way too much for you, then slide your left foot forward slightly. So you're still getting the stretch, but it might not be that easy for you to take your foot to the outer knee. Place your hands so that you're pressing the top of the thigh. Sometimes you'll hear people say, just press your knee down, but let's not do that. Let's instead go close to the pant line crease, and as you do, you just get a little bit of weight to open the hip area. And just keep a nice ease about your breath as you do this. You allow the leg to rotate in the hip socket in such a way that it's an external rotation. Meanwhile, the toes stay active, the toes continue to draw toward the knee, and you're just enjoying the ease of this action. And you have this sense of ease with your breath. Release your right foot down. Now do the same with the left, and it's going to be different. So if it's not that easy to take the ankle to the outer knee with this 90-degree angle you have, then just allow your foot to slide forward and work from wherever it works for you. And this takes time because at first your knee might be lifted quite a bit, so just allow the hands to help you out. Let gravity do its work to open up the hip and this external rotation. Just keep a nice ease about the breath. Keep your lifted leg, again, the ankle is free. The lifted leg, the toes are active, the toes are spread. And if you've got socks on, see if you can do this practice without those socks, because the socks will want to try to keep your toes closer together. And we want the spread of the toes to keep the leg very active. Keep drawing the thigh down. And as you're ready, you can release. We'll be doing the rest of the practice lying down. So if you've got a yoga mat, great. You don't need a yoga mat for this, but if you have one, grab it. Lie on your back with your knees bent. as if you're squeezing that towel that we had before between the inner thighs. Draw the legs in isometrically toward each other. Lift your right foot up and just take the right shin almost parallel to the mat. Release down. Now activate the feet like we've been doing. So spread your toes, lift your foot up, and take it down and just draw the heel to the mat. Lift up, take it down, lift up and down. Now we'll add something to it. You'll lift it up, you'll take it down, you'll slide it out and take it up again. So you lift up, you take it down to the heel, you slide, and you slide the heel back and lift it up and down and slide the heel forward, bend the knee, lift the foot up and down and draw straight leg, come back, lift the foot up and down and extend, and now rest. And again, learn to increase the repetitions so that the healing process is so much faster if you're just recovering from your hip replacement. Now let's try it on the other leg. So lift your left shin up and take it down. Now make the leg a little bit more active by spreading your toes. Lift your toes up. Keep the spread of the toes. Take the heel down. Keep the action of the toes drawing toward your shin as you do several movements here. Make it slow. Allow your breath to be very engaged in the process. A long and easeful breath will help to calibrate your movement of the leg. Just keep the action. Now we'll start extending the leg. So as you take the heel down, you'll slide the heel and straighten the leg. You'll bend the knee, lift the heel up, shin parallel, heel down, sliding it to the end of the mat, sliding it back, bending the knee, lift the foot up and down and extend, bend the knee, lift the foot up, down, extend, and just a few more. And again, if the repetitions are a little bit too much for you, just back off, but know that you'll just work up to a longer practice and more repetitions. We're just working on getting nice action with the quads, nice engagement with the quadricep muscles. And now with both knees bent, take the right leg up, spread your toes, draw your toes toward the shin as we've been doing, and draw your leg down and lift it up and draw it down. Just go slow and steady in these actions. Draw up and down. Not too fast. at a pace that works nicely for you. Lift up. You feel the leg muscles really engaged as you keep the spread of the toes and the toes drawing toward your knee. 3 more of these. Nice and slow, easy movements. And we'll trade sides. So with the right foot down, take your left foot up and draw it down. As you lift the foot up, just check these toes. Can you spread them even more and draw them toward your shin more? Keep a nice steadiness with your right foot as you breathe very freely and naturally. Nice slow and steady movements. You lift up with ease and you draw down with ease. And I'm not planting the foot when I draw down. It just stays just slightly above the mat in each repetition. So the action is continuous. You're not letting go. Just staying constant with the engagement. And we'll do 3 more cycles. You take the leg up with it fully engaged. You draw down. Lift up slow and steady. Have you noticed the slower and the steadier you go, the more you really have to focus on the engagement. The last cycle, slow it down. Before bending your left knee, plant your left foot. With both knees bent, take your right ankle to the outer left knee. Now place your hands right at the top of the right thigh. In the same way that we were just doing on the chair, move the right thigh away from your waistline, just with a gentle touch of your hands. And if this doesn't work for your wrists, you can make a fist with your hand and just a gentleness there with your fist so that at the wrist crease you're not feeling any pain. Don't forget to keep your feet active. So spread your toes. Draw your right toes in particular toward your right knee. And reach your right knee away from your ribs. You can release the right foot and take the left ankle to the outer right knee. And place your hands right by the pant leg crease, right at the top of the thigh. And again, you might want to use your fist to just create a little bit more feeling spaciousness. Don't forget to activate your left foot. Spread your left toes. Now come to a nice ease in your breath. Just allow this nice opening in the hip area with engagement. As you're ready, you can release your left foot to the mat. Your feet are parallel to each other. Press your elbows down. Have your palms facing each other so that the upper arms can help you lift the chest Lift the pelvis. Just get a nice stretch to the quads there. And now, unlike a lot of yoga practices where we hold this for a long time, we're going to take the pelvis down. If you can avoid coming all the way to the mat and just take it down slightly, see if you can keep that engagement and lift up without resting between cycles. Lift your pelvis, get a nice fullness to the front side of the body. Keep your legs really active with the heels drawing in toward your heart isometrically. Release your pelvis toward the mat, but again, see if you can do this without parking it all the way to the mat. Lift up, lift high. You're engaging your gluteus. You've got this nice strength in your bridge pose. Now slowly take your pelvis down. Release your arms to your sides. Release your legs. Just close your eyes for a few moments so that you can just rest with a slight external rotation of your legs, with your legs straight, with your palms facing up. Just get a nice ease about your breath. It's that time to assimilate the actions you've done. It's a very important part of the practice. Just starting to notice the differences you might feel from the practice. You breathe in deep and out long. Just breathe very freely and naturally. Thank you for joining me in the practice. Enjoy your Savasana. Namaste.